Okay, this one actually amuses me. I'm trying not to laugh here. So this dumb lady in the comments is so mad, so triggered, I just had to make a video about this. So as you recall, I posted a video about a guy in a company truck that got instantly angry after being beeped at. Now granted, it wasn't the most egregious thing he did. I've seen much more egregious things, but it wasn't safe either, and not really a good look for the business. I wasn't trying to get anybody fired, even if there was a small chance that that could be the outcome. I just wanted the business to know what happened, because if it was one of my employees, I'd want to know about it. Wouldn't you? I was quite polite in the email, and that video was about the owner's response, where I believe I was lied to. But whatever. What's done is done, and I don't care to rehash all of that. But the lady in that comment section on that video is what today's video is about. So this commenter, who calls herself Charlie's One Grandma, took the video very personally and was offended enough that she went off the deep end over it. Like, just furiously angry, even though it had nothing to do with her. We'll get to all her comments in a minute. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking she's the owner of the business and saw that her business was getting some negative attention and is now angry with me. That's possible, but I really don't think so. I don't think it's her. I think she's personally offended because she doesn't like to see people engaging in bad behavior being called out or held accountable. It's like I've always said, bad drivers hate it when other bad drivers get called out. Okay, let's look at her comments and you can see what kind of low intelligence person I dealt with in arguing with her. All right, we're kind of going out of order here, but that's okay. This was her second comment. She says, "So we are supposed to take business advice from some schmuck with a GoPro who barely gets 3,000 viewers per video." Notice that she didn't spell schmuck properly. First of all, it's common sense that road rage is dangerous and bad for business. I shouldn't have to tell anyone that, but she seems to think you have to be an authority on that to know that. Secondly, I don't have a GoPro. Apparently, she's never heard of dash cams. And then the 3,000 viewers per video. Also not true. I mean, a lot of our videos don't break 3,000, but some do. And I don't even know how that's relevant. Bringing up number of views like that's supposed to mean anything is just a lazy, low IQ way of arguing. Then she goes on, "You are a bottom feeder, a whiny ass scumbag." For holding people accountable? Am I also a bottom feeder and a whiny ass scumbag for holding myself accountable? I hold myself accountable too when I fuck up. I mean, I try not to fuck up in the first place, but if I make a mistake or a wrong choice, I absolutely hold myself accountable. And I just happen to hold others accountable too. It's only fair. But you can see where she's going with this. She doesn't like snitches. She goes on, "If you weren't such a cock emoji and a sucker emoji, you might get more views, putz." Again, I hold people accountable, and she hates that. So anyone who points out bad behavior to her is a rooster sucker. Now, this was her first comment that started it all. She says, "So you take it upon yourself to be the moral authority on all things related to business and traffic infractions?" As I said before, you don't need to be a moral authority or a traffic expert to know that road rage is bad for business or that it's dangerous. That's just common sense. But this lady is too dense, apparently, to understand that. Then she continues, "You just take it upon yourself to interject in no business of yours." Oh my God, again, this lady is so dense. I witnessed an angry guy quickly reverse in the direction of another driver behind him. When you're mad, you don't think straight and you don't see everything around you. And he was also in my way. I honked to get him to stop backing up. And the business has every right to know, and deserved to know, what their employees are doing, even though this turned out to be most likely one of the co-owners of the business. But isn't that what she's doing here? She's interjecting in no business of hers, while accusing me of interjecting in no business of mine. She's doing exactly what she hates me doing, and she doesn't even realize it. Then she says, "That can and will get you hurt where I come from." Wow, must be a lovely place where she lives. And such an irrelevant thing to tell me. Like, why would I care about what the rules of the street where you are? It's just a weird thing to tell me. And just like I said before, she's going to the whole snitches thing, where she then predictably says, "Snitches get stitches." Like, again, her street rules don't apply in any halfway decent city. And certainly not where I live. Then she says, "Maybe you should become a police officer instead of jacking off every time you witness a traffic violation that doesn't concern you." Oh man, she is so dense and clearly not capable of seeing the big picture. Traffic violations actually concern everybody. We all pay higher insurance rates because of the way people drive. We all have to contend with more and more traffic laws every year because of bad drivers. Even if a particular traffic violation doesn't directly affect you, it's a symptom of a much larger problem that has the potential to directly affect you. Look at the stats on traffic crashes, the number of deaths, injuries, and just property damage caused by bad driving. This stuff concerns everybody that spends any time on the road. But she's not capable of seeing any problem that's beyond her face. She'd rather give me shit for calling out bad behavior than to be concerned about the bad behavior itself. Probably because she's one of them who think they're above the law. "You're an effing prick trying to get a man fired." No, I'm a person trying to bring attention to something where it's needed. The reality is that a person is unlikely to get fired for this. They're far more likely to just get reprimanded, and all I really wanted to do was just to inform. And then she pulls the sensational nonsense with the, "He has children and a sickly wife at home." Just completely fabricating an imaginary scenario in her mind. There's always a chance that that's true, but if you're a sole breadwinner with children to support and a sickly wife, it's even more important to be on your best behavior. Why risk it over being beeped at? This lady just isn't seeing the big picture. Then she ends that reply with more of her angry rant. And then another reply. "You're a young prick who thinks you are important. Your thought matter. And you have worth and value. Reality is, you're an effing Karen, and nobody likes you." Yawn. Sounds like she's projecting. And this is where her lack of observational skills becomes very apparent. I don't know if she needs glasses, if she was drunk when she watched the video, or if she's just plain dumb. But here it is. She says, "All I saw was a driver making a simple mistake in cutting in front of another person, who then stopped for a moment and then proceeded on." What? That's not what the video shows. She's conveniently leaving out the part where he throws it in reverse. Then she starts making all kinds of lame excuses for him based on imaginary scenarios. "Maybe he had a small dog in the vehicle that fell to the floor and he stopped momentarily to verify if his pet was okay." What? Are we even watching the same video? Does this look like someone who dropped their dog? Who throws it in reverse after their dog falls off? Oh, it gets more absurd. Her next excuse, "Maybe he dropped his cup of coffee into the console and was trying to wipe it up. Maybe he dropped his cell phone and was trying to pick it up." Again, does this look even remotely like someone dropping something? "Ah, shit, I spilled my cup of coffee. Here, let me stop, throw it in reverse, and blindly back up while I'm wiping up my coffee. And conveniently after someone just beeped at me." Her ignorance just gets better. She said, "I didn't see him flashing his lights, blowing his horn, making any motions with his hands, giving the other driver the finger. What does that have to do with any of this? How is that relevant? She goes on with, I didn't see any other sign to indicate he was road raging, and neither did you. Wow, just totally clueless. Again, are we even watching the same video? She continues angrily ranting with more pointless name-calling, finished with telling me, you need a good smack right in the mouth, and your mama does too for not raising you right. Wow. Based on everything she's said so far, I think it's a safe assumption that she didn't raise her kids right. She's condoning violent behavior in response to calling people out. What a classy grandma she is. Oh, it gets better. In her next reply, she says, I think I will click on about 20 or your videos and only stay on them long enough to down thumb each of them to screw up your algorithm. Well, you can see that our videos usually get more than 95% likes, and her one dislike isn't going to make a dent in anything. She thinks it will. But then again, look who we're talking about. We're talking about a lady that can't form a logical argument. She replied to a couple of our regular viewers. One of our regular viewers, Cheryl Marquez, correctly stated that road rage benefits absolutely nobody. And our Harvard graduate, Charlie's one grandma, replies to her with, so stopping for a moment to gather yourself after almost being in an accident is now called road rage? Okay, so let me get this straight. So it went from dog falling off the seat to spilling coffee in the center console to now gathering himself? Yeah, because, stopping, putting it in reverse, and quickly backing up is gathering yourself. Then she brings up a totally irrelevant anecdote where she says, back last summer, I had to stop because it was raining so hard I could not see the road. What on fuck's earth does that have to do with this situation at all? I'm really trying not to laugh in this lady's face. Then she rants some more about how this can't be classified as road rage while still ignoring the reversing part. And then she responds to another regular viewer of ours, Tommy Viper. And by the way, I'd like to do a quick shout out to Tommy Viper for being with us since the beginning of our YouTube channel in 2011, I think. Anyway, Tommy Viper correctly says, wow, that's just crazy. While the Corolla driver did run the stop sign, the company truck should have just let it go. There's never ever a call to rage at people or chase them down. But this uncouth grandma responds with, I watched the video twice. I never saw any signs the truck driver was road raging. Just because you stop to gather your thoughts for a moment before proceeding is not considered road rage. Oh, so she watched it twice and still didn't see the reversing part. Okay, maybe she's beyond non-observant and just plain stupid. She'd make a terrible detective. She continues with more of her usual hyperbole, saying I'm trying to ruin people's lives for no reason. She quite frankly sounds like a spoiled brat teenager that says things like, you're trying to ruin my life, when they get grounded for doing something bad. But she just can't let this go. She replies again, whenever I feel the need to see a limp-wristed, you-know-what, content, I will look you up, Karen. She ends with making it clear that she's holding a grudge against me. She says, are you going to call the business up and apologize? That would be the only way I'd forgive you. Okay, what exactly would I apologize for? What exactly? Well, that's all for now, guys. About once or twice a year, we get an angry viewer like this that unknowingly brings unwanted attention to themselves. Alright guys, there's a lot more exciting content to come, so be sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon, drop a comment below, give us a thumbs up and share. Also, check out some of our other videos. Thank you for watching.